CNBC-TV18 presents the AI Dialogues in association with IBM.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening with generative AI. What kind of customer data are you tracking? What insights are you getting from it? And particularly for marketing, is there something happening specifically there?
Yeah, thank you. As you said, we are a 117-year-old organization and we are celebrating our foundation day this 20th July. And we see AI is not new for us actually. Way back in 2019 itself, we have started investing not in the present form, but in a different form. So as a strategy point of view, we would have it as a 4 pillar of this present, how we are going to use AI. One is on how we are going to have the infrastructure and capacity building. We had invested in data lake way back in 2019, and the hiring of specialized resources and skills. We are already very deeply, you would have seen our advertisements on recruitment, on specialized skills on this front. This is the second pillar. The third is what kind of use cases which we can drive for customer experience enhancement and improving efficiency of our process. And fourth is governance. In fact, I was talking to our CTO just coming before for this session. He was, we are actually coming up with, like he said, the Adi model. We are also working on a virtual relationship model completely powered by AI, and for internal for our staff to assist our customers. There's a complete 360-degree view of a completely GenAI powered. Coming to digital assets and other campaigns, we have already started. We have more than 8,500 plus branches. We have already digitized them with hyper localized microsite. Now I have all these digital sites ready. Now I have to push content to them. I have to know that which part of the country, which customer is visiting, which type of client is need to be serviced, which product need to be showed. So we are much ahead, but still we are not jumping into it. We are having a very clear-cut strategy on how we are going to approach this.
Right, Ravi. So all of you are in some form, playing around with AI, experimenting with it. Doing some sort of similar stuff. How then do you differentiate from each other? Because at the end of the day, you're all competitors sitting here at the same table, and thank you for that. But Ravi, then, for instance, how will HDFC Bank really create a unique voice while using AI for communication that everybody else is also using?
Good question, because this is one of the biggest challenges when we talked about Gen AI. I want to differentiate between AI and Gen AI because I think AI has been there for the last 25 years. And using prediction models, AI, machine learning and all has been used for a long period of time. And we in HDFC Bank say today prediction is passive. Prescription is what we are looking at. Like suggest what the consumer should be doing next based on whatever is the history that we have and how to make that happen. That's more important for us than tell me like, oh, he will take a product. How to make that happen is what we are interested in, and that's what we all keep doing. Whereas Gen AI is the one which has come in from a perspective of creative content delivery at scale that you were not able to do earlier. And that's where the challenge is, because if everybody has the same tool, then in what way you are going to be different compared to somebody else? It can't be only prompt engineering that we all talk about, because at the end of the day, it's language and all of us have good control over language. So what we have been doing is experimenting, and we believe that we are in the exploratory stage of Gen AI. And I don't believe anybody is using Gen AI anywhere as of now. Everybody is trying on the consumer service side on chatbots. Yeah. Most of the organizations are trying on the marketing side because this is one of the best use cases where you don't have any privacy concerns because it's pure communication. There is no personal data which is being transferred across. And we are building our own models using open source also to figure out what kind of a brand voice that we can bring in that element when it is predicting a certain amount of content for us, when it is creating some amount of content for us. Then we have put the entire brand book, the brand guidelines, our tone of voice, and what is it that we want to convey into that tool. And we say that you have to learn. And we also start telling the AI saying, I don't want to be like this bank. So we're also trying to give all the communication of all the other banks also and say, okay, this is HDFC Bank. These are the other banks. I want to be like this, but I also don't want to be like this, so that we can try and find a unique voice We're still in the exploratory stages. Time will tell us in terms of how it will progress in that direction.
So when we're talking about, say, enhancing creativity and productivity of people, especially in the marketing function, and if I can come to you, Anup, at Axis Bank, do you have use cases where AI has really enhanced the creativity of a person, or in the marketing function, or perhaps productivity, because we know that you can outsource mundane repetitive tasks to AI or automation, and those get done?
Well, to be honest, I think we're not there yet. We're just starting to play around with the tech. And like your previous question, I think the tool is available to all of us, right? We all have some amount of money we can spend. And I think our CEO is on record saying that it's going to be table stakes if you all use the tech the same way. Right? So I think the idea of experimentation that everybody is talking about is to try and figure out what's your unique way of using it.
And Tuhina, at IBM, of course, you're working with a lot of CMOs across the globe. How are you helping them navigate this challenge of achieving hyper-personalization? Yes, but also managing risk and compliance, because that's important in a sector like banking that we're talking about today, right?
That is the building block. What you ask of the data, but what is the data that you feed the AI with is the outcome that it gives you eventually, right? And one of the most important things is how transparent, what is the data? Can you see it? Is the model transparent enough? Is that something that will hold out in a governance court, or the amount of litigation and court cases that we've seen around generative AI, not getting into the names, that's not where you want to get. One of the interesting facts, when we actually analyze the enterprise, some of the models, when they do really well in a test environment, but when you put it to production or scale, they don't really do as well, right? And there is this timeliness to the data. There is that real-time element to how effective your models are. And I think at IBM, one of the things is we are saying, and we are working with our clients to say, can we spend more time on your foundation models? Can we represent your data in your models more? Can we, proof them for inherent biases, for instance? Can then train and test on your data? Can we put in your governance clause, your brand guidelines, the tonality in it? It's hard work. Generative AI is not that magic wand, it's hard work. But if we do invest in it now, and which is what I think I'm hearing everyone say, that it will start to yield results in phases. All of you have a role to play, right? Where do you prioritize your bets and money and resources? So one of the things that you will keep hearing from IBM is responsible AI is responsible business. And we are over-investing on the governance piece so that we are accountable to our customers, and eventually they can scale and sustain in the long run.
Okay, good to know that. But Nipun, when we talk about, harnessing AI or Gen AI for that matter, for business, for marketing, various functions, what are the success metrics that you would be tracking? As the CMO especially, what are your parameters that, yes, this piece of technology was worth it and we are getting the ROI?
Right. So going back to your first question, that all of us have the same platforms available to us, but if I step back even 10, 15 years back, still we all had the same products. Now, whether it was the era of machine learning coming in, then big data coming in, we all have the same thing. I mean, we have had advertising agencies also which have been changing hands from one bank to the other, and the same creative person moving from one company to the other. If I also compare a savings account, whether it is Ravi's bank, my bank, Anup, Rohit, it's the same. A savings account is a savings account.
Only the bank balance might differ.
Bank balance might different. So when you have a certain, say a super HNI, he might be dealing with all of us. He will not put the entire money at one place, how much ever we like that to happen. So I think it is more of the fact that how well you utilize the service of AI or generative AI. And that will also depend on the man behind the gun. So how good that person is, that means I think the larger challenge what we will have is how many talent do we have who knows how to use it. I think beyond a point, all of us will be struggling for the same talent pool. So having said that, when I say ROI, I'm doing a campaign, I want to cross-sell a specific product. Now, live example is you create a segment where I've seen somebody has used his credit card to buy tickets to go abroad. Now that data is all available to us. Can I, give him a FX card, Forex card, or can I give him schemes on the debit card or his credit card itself? Is that available today? Yes, it is available today. I think more important to get an ROI will be what will be my conversion rates. Have I been able to bring up these spend ratios or able to sell product? If I was doing X amount today by using this technology, is it X plus something and at what cost? I think that's something which is very nascent right now, I think from the marketing standpoint.
CNBC-TV18 presents the AI Dialogues in association with IBM.